name is Stefanie Maegan. You're listening to Broke Girl Therapy. Because therapy is too expensive. You're listening to Broke Girl Therapy. Broke Girl Therapy.
Someone needs to commission like a piece for back here.
A what?
You need like I'm gonna get you a neon.
I know. I
need
something there. I need like a neon Broke Girl Therapy sign up over there.
And then you know what it needs to say? It needs to be therapy, and then when you turn it on, it says in session. Because it's like an on-air sign.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cute. But no, I think Broke Girl Therapy aesthetically.
Okay, fine, whatever.
No, I like the idea.
You're like, I like the concept. I just don't like the execution.
I like the concept, but aesthetically, like, let's say when it's just up there and I'm not recording, like, I wanted to still say Broke Girl Therapy over therapy.
Oh, there you go. You could say Broke Girl Therapy, and then there's a bottom one that says in session. And you can click it on and off.
Oh my God, look at that. We're so creative. Yeah. We're matching.
We're matching on, oh my God, this pink sweatshirt is so dirty. I'm sorry. I wore it because of you, because you're
I love it. And I'm a daughter of an immigrant. That's what your sweatshirt says.
Which is true. I am.
But Rose.
Yeah.
I have to make introductions because everyone's really fucking excited.
Really?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
We'll get into it. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Hi, guys. Wait, is it even?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, it is. I'm just taller than you.
But like as far as framing-wise, it's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this okay for you folks at home? Is this?
I can always crop it to make it.
That's fine. You can always isn't there like a tilt shift or whatever you can do and like.
Yeah. Anyways, hi guys. It's me, Stefanie Maegan, your host of Broke Girl Therapy. And guess the fuck what? Rose is back!
I'm back! I'm back.
It's been so fucking long.
How long has it been?
May.
No.
Yes. Or June. May. End of May. When we did the girls episode with Rachel.
Oh my God. Fuck me.
It's okay. I've been super busy and you've been extremely busy
I have a
as
job
well too.
Ugh.
I mean, how's that going?
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I have like
you're doing amazing things. Can we talk about it?
Oh yeah, no, of course. I'm writing for a really it's crazy because it's a hit TV show, BMF on Stars. It's crazy how it's aired and where season finale is about to come. Actually, by the time the episode airs, the season finale will probably be out. But it's crazy. We're working on season 2 right now. And it's a shit show, but it's like an adult. Now I'm back. I'm like, I have a job again. So it's like really weird to be there. And I'm busy. Fine. And then I'm working on the podcast. And then I'm also working on my own side projects. I'm working on a book, which is just like exhausting. I know, it's so exhausting. It's really, everyone like makes it sound like they're like, I'm writing a book. And I'm like, it's the worst.
Sounds hard.
It's so fucking hard.
I always think about writing a book. I'm like, bitch, you can't write. I'm gonna have to collaborate with someone eventually.
Yeah, to get a ghostwriter.
Yeah, or just be like Stefanie Maegan and so and so because.
Oh my God, that's fine. But literally, no one. I mean, like I'm gonna tell you right now, no one writes their own book. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I figured.
No one writes their book. A ghostwriter is for everyone. You know what I mean?
I just I'll talk and it just transcribe it.
That's what it. Literally writing a celebrity memoir is. It's just like Mariah Carey talking to an iPhone and then some poor person has to like type it up and like, make.
Or rev.com.
Exactly. It's, are you sponsored by them?
No, I just transcribe stuff with them for work.
Oh, but I love that was like a smooth transition.
For rev.com.
Rev.com, where we translate or transcribe. Jesus Christ. Or translate. I don't know.
Yeah, probably translate.
But yeah, no. So like writing a book is really hard. People make it sound like it's super easy. It's not. It's fucking difficult.
Yeah, because you have to like story edit. You have to think of like what plot lines you're going to talk about. There
has to be a structure.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like people will read it and they give great notes, but then there's contradicting notes, and then you're like, people have to stop reading this so I can just like finish it. Right. But it's fun. I mean, I don't think people realize that most writers actually hate writing. You know what I mean?
I hate writing.
Well, it's hard. It's fucking hard. Everyone thinks it's so easy until you actually have to
No, that's why I have Grammarly on my computer. It's hard for you to write an email.
To be fair, I don't know shit about grammar. I'm a writer, but I'm like terrible at grammar.
Yeah, but do you have Grammarly?
Yeah, I do.
Not
I also
sponsored.
have the not sponsored. I also have the largest secret weapon, which is Kathleen Kane, my mother, who's like
Oh,
been
yeah.
my editor and like amazing.
I should have her edit my emails.
Oh my God, you probably should.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I mean, she's editing like fucking Anthony's resume right now. Like she's just really good at she's great at that shit. It's her job. She's a writer. She's a copy editor. She's a writer. She's a mom. She's a feminist. She's a style icon. She's the greatest.
She's the best.
She really is.
And she's my best friend.
She is your best friend, actually.
I love her.
She loves you.
We like fangirl over each other on the internet.
I know. Great. It's so annoying. You kind of get jealous. It's like FOMO in a weird way. Yeah. I mean, hi, Junie. See, now Junie's like, it's okay. You can be my mom. Nope.
Yeah. She's a hoe. Junie,
you a hoe.
She definitely a hoe.
Were you also a prostitute in your past life that was killed by your
pimp? I think she was a prostitute in her past life.
Maybe me and her worked together at one point. That's why she's so cagey about me. She's like, bitch, you stole money from me. You know what I mean? Also, probably. Her butthole is so clean. It's crazy.
I know. And I didn't even do it. She does it herself.
I would be concerned if you did it. A little too much of a cat mom. Anyways,
we didn't even like think about. Oh no, we did talk about what we're gonna talk about. I don't even know. My mind is everywhere. I'm tired. You tired?
I think that's what we're here to talk about. Is like, what is a work-life balance?
What is a work-life balance? And honestly, yeah. I don't fucking know. So fucking figure it out.
You know, I always think about how like people are like, you can have it all, and then you remember, no, I don't want to have it all, because that sounds like a lot. Having it all sounds like a fucking lot.
It does,
because it is a lot.
I'm just tired.
Yeah, no, I actually like. I journal, all the time. And for work, I'm on Zoom and I'm taking notes as we're like pitching in the writer's room, and I'm taking notes. And then I have like my own personal notebook, and I'll like venture over and like write in my own personal notebook, especially like when they're going on a tangent and I don't understand what they're talking about. So I'm just like, let me just like things. And I like went past in my notebook during lunch like today, and I've written the word exhausted and tired like over 2,000 times in like the last like month in my notebook. And I'm like, literally just every entry is like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. And I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? Remember when you used to do all-nighters? You would like go out on a Friday and like fucking not sleep until Sunday, Monday.
How did we do that?
I'm
so jealous of my younger self that she would just like do Molly and then like the next day go to work.
Like nothing happened. It just
all I
back.
needed is a Starbucks coffee and I would get through the day.
Oh my God, I had 3 coffees and I was just like sitting there literally in front of the Zoom being like, none of this is hitting me yet.
Yeah, or it just makes you feel worse.
No, it does, because then what happens is that you like get a jolt and then you just crash immediately afterwards. That's like also what getting older is, but I'm also, me, I'm so anti about like people saying like, I'm old. We're not old. No. I just think that staring at a computer from fucking 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is straining and emotionally just like, oh my God, exhausting.
Yeah, that's been me. I mean, did you see my breakdowns on my episodes?
I love them.
You love my breakdowns.
I do.
It's honest, I guess.
Why? Yeah. What is wrong with
it's completely honest for sure. It's just like sometimes I think I've been so hard on myself. Not on the show. I think outside of work, outside of
life,
outside of the show, at work probably is where I feel like I'm so honest that I'm like, because I was going through this transition to this what a topic is. So I was going through what you guys saw was like some sort of meltdown, and I was trying to get through it, and it was really affecting my work, like my performance, and people were seeing that I was just not mentally okay. And I mean, they were understanding, people were there for me, but it's also just, I've also got, can my cat just
can your cat just be understanding of your mental breakdown right now?
She needs to chill. This is not the time.
Come on, this is not about you, Junie.
Right. And so it, it kind of, if anything, opened my eyes to my mental health, because I think sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't struggle with like depression or anxiety, because like I look at other people and I'm like, because mine doesn't look like that, so I'm thinking like, oh, they have that and that's how it looks like on them, so I don't have that. And then I go through these moments where I'm like, oh, bitch,
you struggling.
You struggling. And
that's
sometimes,
okay.
and sometimes it's like, I'm so high functioning.
Yeah.
You know, and it like, I'm really good at just kind of like, just keep going and keep going. But, and you know, at the moment I'm thinking this is for the best, but it's actually like making things worse. And then I get to a point where I crack and then I cry. I'm on here crying to you guys. It's affecting everything in my life. And so I kind of, I always had this idea that I had ADHD. I mean, when I was younger, I always knew that I had a hard time in school and like focusing, and loved just distracting myself with like socialness, just being social and shit. And I just thought like, oh, I just was a kid that didn't care. But looking back, like I really did care, because as an adult now, I'm getting the same type of feedback, but like in the work area.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's kind of just, it was like this thing that just kept repeating. And then I hit a point where I was like, I need to figure this out. So I went to a specialist and I got diagnosed with ADHD.
What was your initial reaction?
So relieved.
Really? That's beautiful.
Yeah. Like
that's tight.
And I don't know, like it didn't make me sad. It didn't make me like, if anything, it's like made me feel so much better, because for years, I think honestly, my entire life, I've always struggled with like, I'm never good enough. Like, why am I not learning as quickly as like my classmates?
Right.
Why am I not excelling like these other people in my company? Like, why are they doing better? Why do I keep getting fired?
Right.
These people are younger than me. Why are they more successful? Why are they beating me to this point, you know, in this ladder, you know? And like, why am I just not, why am I not organized?
Right.
Why am I not?
What's the obstacle? What's holding you back? And then you named it.
Right. And I always just thought like, oh, maybe I just like don't care, and I have to start caring, and like, or I have to, you know, I don't know. I would always just come up with like reasons like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't go out for a minute and just focus, or let me just stop the show for a month and just focus. And like, I always tried to find ways to focus, but nothing was ever working.
Yeah.
Because my mind doesn't work as the same person who does not have ADHD, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that most of the time, though, the world is created for one brain, right? From education system to how we consume things. It's literally, I mean, the world in its own way is ableist to fill in the blank group of people. And you bring up education, and that's like a great example that like how we educate kids is not the same everyone. You know what I mean? Like we do standardized testing, and you're like, no, like you can't teach me, like I'm a very visual person. You can't just like tell me to read something. I'm not going to get it as well as like just seeing someone do it and explain it to me. And I'm like, okay, show me pictures, show me pie charts or whatever. So then you're learning that everyone learns differently. And now I'm not saying that you have to cater to every human being, but you should know that there is a spectrum of being like, you can satisfy as many groups as people if we just like redirected and change. Education system is just sadly such a broken system.
And I think when we were younger as well too, it's like there is this notion or this like assumption of like people who have ADHD who are like super hyper and like can't stay in their seats and they're crazy. And I'm like, that's why I was like, oh, I guess I don't have that, because I'm not like that. Like I could, you know, for the most part stay still. Yeah. But I found out, and the doctor told me, it was that because, you know, back then the studies were based off of boys,
and they had no, I mean,
and with girls it's a different reaction.
Different. Same thing with the Asperger's. Like a lot of people are like, oh, women don't have Asperger's, and it's like, no, because we're only stuck into primarily white male experiences of like what things look like. And now they open up the case studies and they're like, oh fuck, it looks different on every human being. Again, one of those things where you can't just put one label on something. There's subsets and like you know, different genres in a weird way of these things. Yeah. But do we have a moment?
Do we have a moment?
I love you. Congratulations. But no, so now that like, what's your kind of game plan? I feel like sometimes when people get that, they that diagnosis, like you said, it's like relieving and it feels good. You're able to label it. You're like, haha, it explains a bunch of stuff. But like, what is your kind of like your journey been?
My plan? Yeah. I mean, right now, I only got diagnosed like last week. So I've only known for like
cool.
a week.
So we're not doing shit. It's only been 7 days.
It's only been 7 days. But it's been a long 7 days.
Yeah.
But right now I think I'm just trying to understand. Again, I feel like there's still so much more I need to learn about ADHD and also just my ADHD. Mm-hmm. So right now I've been kind of like just really thinking a lot about my past and like trying to understand like where it affected my life, because it's not just like school, it's not just work, like it's affected my dating life. It's affected my mental health. It's affected like my decisions. And so I'm still trying to process it and I'm still trying to understand. I am on Adderall.
Okay.
So I'm taking medication, but that is even something too, where I'm like, do I want to be on Adderall for the rest of my life? Like, do I want to be on medication for the rest of my life?
Oh,
that's really tough. Like, I don't want to become addicted to something because, quite frankly, Adderall has been really helping. Like, I do feel so much better in a sense of like, I'm getting more stuff done, because sometimes one of the things with ADHD is like, you want to do everything and then you just get so burnt out and you're like, oh my God. And sometimes you just don't do shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's been, that happened to me all the time. I've had so many episodes of being burnt out because I just pile so many things on thinking I could conquer everything. But lately in the past week, I've been doing good at like trying to take it slow.
Right. And do you think it's helping you, the medication? Because that's like the biggest, that's the biggest relationship I feel like people gloss over is, does the medication help? Yes, it's really weird to imagine that your entire life taking this medication, but also you don't need to. There's like ways to like dose medications in and out of your life. You know what I mean? Like, as someone who's bipolar and has been on medications for a while, currently right now, it's been an entire year I've not been on any medications.
And how are you feeling since you've been?
Kind of, everyone who's seen me has been like, whoa, you seem really mellow. Like, I just seem very kind of like plateauy, I guess. That's not a word, but it sounds cool. But like, plateauing and like kind of have like a baseline. But I haven't been on in a year, not by choice, but because of COVID. And like, I didn't have health care and like it overlapped. And then I couldn't find a therapist. And like, everyone was looking for therapy and like a psychiatrist during COVID. And as someone who's like, I don't know about you, but like when you watch everyone that you saw be quote unquote normal lose their shit during COVID, you're kind of like, you know what? You deserve to go to therapy.
Right.
I've been preparing for this pandemic my entire life.
You're like, I could stay home and be fine.
I could stay home. I miss it. I do miss it.
Yeah.
But like, I could step back away from it. And so I just like was off medication for a while. And there was like a few weeks that was like really rough and rocky because I was like, just cold turkey, just like couldn't be on it anymore. And now I'm kind of like, okay, like I can feel the need, like, it just feels good to be back at a baseline. But I do want to go back on medication at some point. But that's the thing, is that you can introduce medication with the help of, now I have a psychiatrist and a therapist that I really love, and they're helping me like introduce it back into my system. And I don't recommend doing what I did. It's just like the healthcare system's fucked, and I couldn't get any. Literally, my prescription went from like $16 to fucking $68 because I got knocked off of healthcare. So it was like. So it was just like, with the guidance of someone, it helps. And I know it can be really overwhelming to imagine like, oh, fuck, am I going to have to take Adderall for the rest of my life? And it's like, yes and no. You take it when you need it. And sometimes you can like figure out ways to like not need it or, step away from it. But you've found it useful though, right?
Right. I've been finding it like honestly so useful.
I've only taken Adderall once in my life because
really,
it was prescribed to
bad
me.
Bitch. Oh, okay,
well, no, you know me, I'm not like popping pills.
Right.
It was like prescribed to me, and like I don't know, maybe this does say that I have ADD, but like it didn't do shit. And when I took an Adderall, and like everyone was like, "You're gonna clean your house and do your homework and taxes and like call your ex-boyfriend."
But I just feel normal.
No, I fell asleep. It didn't do shit to me. I fucking fell asleep. And everyone's like, "So maybe you do have ADD?" And I'm like, "Maybe," but I'm also like, I didn't like the way it made me feel.
Right.
I just passed the fuck out.
Right.
It's the people who take.
Sometimes it does make me tired. People like, it's crazy. Like, so
I don't think people realize that that's what it's supposed to do.
Right. It actually makes me like, I mean, it brings me up and I'm more focused, but like, I'm still kind of like, I get tired.
But like, I think that's what people think is that Adderall like makes you be like fucking running around like the Tasmanian devil. But you're like, no, that's for people who shouldn't be taking Adderall.
Right, exactly.
Like, you have a very functioning quote unquote brain.
Right. For those who like,
for those who need it,
it just makes
brings
you feel normal.
down. Yes, exactly. It's the whole idea that it's
Yes,
like you're up here
and
it keeps you here versus other people that it's just like it.
I mean, it's crazy because
them.
even when I pop Molly's and shit, like everyone's always like, why are you not? Because everyone who takes Molly's that I know is always like, fuck, like they're tripping and they can't control themselves. I'm so fucking chill. Like I would take Molly's and like do some other uppers, you know, like uppers calmed me down.
See, you're like my friend who does coke and falls asleep. She's like, she does coke and it like does nothing for her body.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
it
like,
keeps me up and I'm able to keep going, but like it just chills me out.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, when I'm rolling, like you can't even tell I'm rolling. Like I seem like this. Like people were concerned, like, are you doing this too much to the point where
you're like used to it? But I don't think people realize that it's like it's different for everyone's body, and it's like how some people love smoking weed, and some people it makes them extremely paranoid.
Like smoking weed. See,
and so it's like the chemistry reaction of this drug being introduced to your body is different for so many people. It's like it's the reason why I don't do drugs because I'm terrified of what it's going to do to me.
Right.
Not necessarily being like addicted, but like I'm scared that I'm gonna be like, I'm scared that if I drink, I'll just fight everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like I just feel like I'll just get into a physical fight, or if I do like Molly or something, I'll have like a shitty like trip dream.
I feel like you would probably get anxious. On Molly. I
Probably.
feel like my boyfriend would get anxious on Molly too. But for me, it like calms me down.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I feel good. I could just chill here, listen to music and
oh my God. That's why like when people are like, let's do shrooms, I'm like, I'm going to have a bad trip. Like in my mind, and people are like, well, if you say you are, then you probably are. And I'm like, yeah, and I know. That's why I shouldn't fucking do it. But like to each his own, more for you. But yeah, people forget that like it all has a reaction to you. And as we like, you know, my psychiatrist was telling me like as you get older too, like the hormones, like now I have Nexplanon, like I have the birth control in my arm. And so she's like, oh, then you shouldn't be on this drug and this drug. And I was like, oh, that makes complete sense because it's like, oh, this thing's in my arm and that's going to affect by these drugs. And then like the fact that like I was on Zoloft when I was like 18, and that's like the worst time for an 18-year-old to be on fucking Zoloft because you're already raging hormones and like so emotional. And I was just like crying at the stupidest shit and like being like, I'm fine. And then everyone being like, you're not, you know? So it's like it all kind of changes and like reacts differently as your body as you get older, and that's why it's like you have to like stay on top of it with a therapist, with a psychiatrist, with a specialist, and kind of understanding what it does to your body. You know, like for a long time I didn't like Xanax or Klonopin. I am prescribed it now because it's a really good like break the glass in case of emergency. Like I've taken it maybe like twice this year with being like, I need something to just basically like calm me the fuck down, and it works. But I don't like the hangover effect of it. And that's just something that like I just have to deal with, you know what I mean? But it's not something I take every single day. It's just literally like, okay, I really can't calm myself down with my breathing exercises and like, you know, in my mind where I'm like, the apps are fucking stupid.
Right.
Let me take something that like just like eases me down and then I'm good, you know? But I always talk myself out of it too because I'm also like, I don't want to have to be dependent on this drug.
Right.
Like I fucking hate the hangover of a Klonopin. Like, but it's like, it works. And I think that a lot of people, we live in a society that still treats drugs as such a taboo thing, but it's like, it's a relationship between you and the drugs. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like how it affects you doesn't affect me the same way.
Right. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, you know, I'm kind of looking at it as like, this is just a tool to get me to where I want to go.
And that's what it is. It's a tool.
Right.
But in a larger toolbox.
Right.
It's a hammer amongst everything else.
Right. Exactly. So it's just something that I need right now to like figure out, you know, everything else. Figure out before I figure out like my other tools, you know.
Exactly.
So it's a tool to help me get other tools, I guess.
Yeah. And it's a really great way. And I think that's like why I am so glad to step into this like new therapist that I really love and admire is the fact that I'm coming at kind of in a weird way, a blank slate again. You know what I mean? Like I'm at like I've been off medication for a year and now she's like, what do you want? And I was like, well, I want a new toolbox basically of like what we're talking about, of resources to like help me. And she's like, okay, let's do like breathing exercises. And, you know, I'm learning about window of tolerance and like the 4 horsemen of apocalypse theory and like all these things that she's like teaching me that I'm like, okay, cool. Then I talked to my psychiatrist who's like, okay, then if you're having a weird relationship with your medication, let's try something new. You know, let's take these very slowly and like, don't just like, you just need a psychiatrist that's not a drug pusher. You know what I mean? That's someone who just genuinely cares about your well-being. And, you know, every time someone gives me medication, I'm just like, I don't like lithium. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't like how my body is. I just hate it. And then if that psychiatrist doesn't hear that the person's not for me, you know? But this psychiatrist hears me and is like, nope, that makes sense. Okay, no lithium for you. And like, carry on.
Yeah, I can't believe there's some psychiatrists that are drug pushers.
Well, you feel, I mean, like, you know, I don't
like
know. I'm
pro medication.
I was about to get a lot of haters for that. But I feel like there are some people who, you know, I'm watching Dope Sick, which is a great show on Hulu right now. And it's talking all about basically the Oxycontin and just the idea that like, yeah, like sometimes it's pharmaceuticals are drug pushers in a weird way.
Yeah,
they're just like,
for sure.
They just get away with it, you know?
Right.
But there are useful like prescriptions and I mean, the word is medication. You know what I mean? Like there is medication that will help you. And then there are some that basically, you know, like, I mean, Percocet and Zoloft was like the things of like the 90s and the early 2000s. It's like, just take a Percocet. And now people are like slowly realizing like, okay, maybe that wasn't like the best to just be pushing these name brands on everyone. And it's again, that whole theory where it's like, it's a blanket statement. It's a blanket drug. And you realize that like, ooh if you're bipolar, it's probably not the best for you, you know? And like, if you have
people
borderline,
are still learning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, we haven't have it all figured out. But
which is what this entire episode is about, is we don't fucking know shit.
We don't know shit. But I just feel like it's, you know, it's been so relieving to like get to this point because it's affected even my dating, you know, and like my self-esteem for so long, just thinking and comparing and realizing that I was different and not understanding why. And
your brain is racing.
Right. And so I'm thinking, you know, because I feel like I come off as like super confident, but I'm really good at masking it. You know, really good at masking it.
Which apparently is like a bad thing, I guess.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I know
they say fake it till you make it. I get that. But like I was faking it, but I can't make it when I actually have a condition that I have to face. Yeah. You know, so I was so good at masking it, you know, coming off as like I was confident. But, you know, we all know based off of my decisions, like I wasn't, you know, it's always that feeling of like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough in school. I'm not good enough, you know, for these type of jobs. I'm not good enough, you know, for a good man. Like it took so long to get to a point where I am now.
To be confident enough.
I mean, I still have so much to work on. Don't get me wrong. Like my breakdown.
We all do, yeah.
My breakdown was a humble reminder that I still had so much to work on as far as like my self-esteem.
But also I understand. Okay, so your breakdown, I don't know why I keep bumping up against you calling it humbling. I'm trying to process this as you're saying it. It's human. It's not humbling. You just had a breakdown. Yeah. Everyone has fucking breakdowns. Because I feel like humbling means that you had to be brought down. You didn't need to be brought down. You just need to be reminded that you have feelings and emotions and you were fucking sad. And you were just, you just had a moment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was necessarily humbling as it was a wake up call. It was just you being like, I should get this looked at.
Yeah, because I'm getting the same type of feedback time and time and time again.
Yeah.
And so I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think also like before, I don't think I really understood anxiety.
I mean, you know me, and I can go on a soapbox. I don't think anyone understands it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, till this day, I'm still learning about my own anxiety because I know my boyfriend's anxiety. You know what I mean? Like, he's very like.
But your relationship with it is different,
right? And I think, you know, going to the relationship part, like I think that also kind of helped me too, in a sense, because, you know, when you're single, you kind of just live within your mess, and that's fine. That's your little mess, and you could just be in it, and it's
no
cool.
one judges you.
And this is your world.
This is my little messy hole.
Right.
No one comes in it.
This is your world. It's fine. And so when you're in a relationship and you know, you see all the ugly things about each other.
You share each other's scars.
You share everything.
Yep.
And to have someone come into this mess and just be like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. No.
And, you know, like, I'm so blessed that Brian loves and cares and is, you know, very helpful in a lot of ways. But he's definitely been a huge part of me, like, realizing that I was a mess.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's like being a mess. You're like, you were a hot, sexy mess. You were a great mess. But it's.
I don't want to say mess. I feel like that's so negative.
Yeah, I was about to say
like,
again. I don't know why I'm hitting up against these words.
I know. I'm really harsh on myself.
You really are.
Really
why?
harsh.
So we're still in it then?
We're still in it. I'm not saying I'm cured just because I'm taking out.
It's not that. No.
But I also think, you know, way I was raised.
Right.
That also plays a part too. I don't want to blame everything on my ADHD. But
well, you know, you got a lot of childhood trauma and growing up and guilt and we've talked about that shit.
Because I think even like, so one thing my therapist asked was like, how's your relationship with, you know, friends, family, everyone in my life? And I brought up, I was like, yeah, like my mom is like, you guys, polar opposite of me. Mm-hmm. She is like type A, so smart, very like just, I mean, she is the person, if you want some like financial advice, she will give it. She is so book smart, really fucking tough, not laid back at all. Anyways, I'm not going to keep roasting my mom.
Sorry, Mom.
But anyways, she's the complete opposite of me. So growing up, you know, knowing me, I'm just so fucking no filter, sloppy, you know. I don't want to, sorry, mean again. But like I was actually, but I'm also really messy. I'm really messy. That's what I mean. It's like I'm very disorganized.
There we go. That's a better word.
Disorganized. And she's very organized, type A. And we clashed a lot because she was always just like, why don't you fucking get it? Like, you're, you know, like, I have to tell you things over and over again. And you just like don't understand. You're not picking it up. And, you know, that always made me feel like fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck. Like, I wish I was like so much more tidy, or, you know, things just clicked with me quicker. Like, it just took me a while to get into the habit of things.
You wish you were more like her, and she wishes you were also more like her, but you're also not her. You're just a product of her. You just happen to be related to her, but you're your own person.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, to the T.
And I think it's so funny that here we are being like, yeah, no, these words really matter. You're not messy. And it's also like, it's so funny when you didn't use the word Chris, I was like, what? But then I was like, oh, that's right. But like with Brian.
You haven't been on the pod in a while.
I know, exactly. You guys know who Brian is.
Yeah.
But with the whole idea of like how Brian probably came into this quote unquote mess, right? But it's not that he was like, oh God, this is messy. It's, oh, this is my girls. That's fine. You know what I mean? He accepted it versus what's happening with your mom, which was she didn't accept it.
Oh yeah.
So that's the, you know what I mean? Like that's the disconnect where it's like, that is what love is showing someone all your ugly, all your mess, all your scars, and them saying, okay.
He came to my...
Okay. If you're going to talk about physical mess, that's completely different.
Physical mess and just, you know.
But like, I love you. But you are physically messy.
Yes.
But that's fine. That's you. I don't live here. I don't need to worry about your mess. Like, anytime that people like always complain about going to people's houses and be like, they're so messy. It's like, you don't live there. You don't pay rent. Let them have their mess.
Right.
Physical mess, no, we're fine.
Yeah, he came over one weekend to stay for a week. He came over and like, as soon as he got here, he cleaned my room.
Oh my God.
Cleaned my
Brian,
bathroom.
You ain't got to do that.
Cleaned my bathroom. Like, he literally, like, hung my clothes, like, swept, like, he, like, cleaned.
Did it bother you?
I felt like a failure.
Why?
Because I really didn't have time to clean, dude. Like, I literally, like, had so many things back to back. It's not like that I was, like, neglecting it. Like,
then that's fine.
Yeah, but it's also, like, you know, I think when you have like a guest in your house, like I want to clean before, I have a guest over.
Yeah, but you were busy.
Right. I know he didn't care, but he was like,
End
no,
of story.
that's why he's like, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you. This is, know, like, this is what relationships, and he even like cooked for me later. I was like, I am spoiled.
God, I know. He's great.
I am so spoiled.
You know I've been Team Brian for a minute now.
I am so spoiled. I was like, oh my God, I need to step it up. And so.
But do you though? I mean, we're literally talking about how you've been exhausted and you've had this like really, hard hit emotionally, mentally, and physically. That of course, like, you know what I mean? Like, you embodied what a lot of people, like, that's how I know I'm depressed, is when I look around my house and it visually represents how I'm feeling.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I'm like, and then, you're hella depressed when you think that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll sit in
this.
Yeah.
That's been me my entire life, where I'm like, I could do this right now. And it's like, it's weird. I have to get in like a certain episode to be able to fucking clean. Like, I have
That's fine. Everyone has, I grew up with
but there's like people like my mom who cleans every day.
Yeah. That's also unhealthy too. I grew up with a father who's, I also feel like this is an immigrant thing.
Yeah.
Because my dad's whole thing is that he's like, I don't want no rats. I don't want no roaches. The way he grew up was disgusting. And so he's constantly cleaning. I mean, literally, I've never seen that man not like with a rag in his hand and like bleach in the other. He's constantly cleaning. But I also look at how that stresses him out whenever something's out of place.
Oh my God. No, my mom, she would knock on my door like 5 or 6 in the morning, banging, like not even just like bum, 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 bum. Mm-hmm. And she would make me get up and fix the couch cushions.
Oh my God, my dad, same thing.
What?
Oh my God, my dad, the same. When you said couch cushions, I was like, yep. He would be like, clean the fucking settee, turn those in, clean them out, fluff them up. Oh yeah.
Banging on the door while you're fucking asleep.
On a fucking Saturday morning at 9 a.m.?
Not even a Saturday morning. It'll be on a fucking Tuesday.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty fun.
I don't know if like because Saturdays are like, the weekends are like, okay, let's clean, let's get up, let's do this.
No.
I get that.
I don't get that.
This was like before she's going to work and we're sleeping, like we have school or whatever it is later. Like, she would like bang on the door, dishes, fix the couch cushions.
Yeah.
Like, but that's close the cabinet.
But I'm also like you see that embodies, then gets pushed onto you, and that's stressful. You know what I mean? So of course that's also like why you're kind of like, I don't want to clean the dish right now, because you're also like, I don't want to feel pressure to do. Yeah, you're just like leave it there.
Let me do this,
and it's fine. Yeah. As I've gotten older, I feel like my dad has kind of gotten it. Like when he came and visited me, I was like so nervous about him seeing my apartment, like. Dead nervous.
It's nerve-wracking.
Because I was like, is it clean enough for you? And he like, of course, had nothing to say about it except the one area I did not clean, which was outside. Like I didn't rake the fucking leaves. And he was like, you should rake the leaves. And I'm like, I can't. And my mom was just like, let it go. He doesn't live here. He's not paying rent on this thing. Just leave the leaves.
Every time I FaceTime my mom, she's like, let me see your floor.
Oh my God. I don't think my dad, I think
I'm like, not right now.
My dad wants to ask that question, but he doesn't. But I look at, there's a happy medium, right? Like everyone says to me, they're always like, oh my God, your house looks so clean. It's always so clean. And to me, it's not, because I'm comparing it to my father's standard.
Right.
But like, you've been to my apartment. Like it's very much eclectic and there's like piles, but it's like my version of clean, which is fine.
You just have a lot of like books and frames and
books. I don't read.
You don't read at all.
I don't read at all. I've never owned a book in my entire life.
You don't have a whole ass wall of
I know.
books.
It's pretty bad. I have too many. It's disgusting.
It's okay. But it's fine.
But it's like,
it's always put together. I could walk through your apartment.
See, but that's my whole thing, is that I still look at it and think it's messy, and I'm like, no, that's just like the weird voice in my head telling me.
We always hear our fucking parents, right?
Yeah.
It's like we're moved out paying rent, but we still hear our fucking parents judging us.
Oh my
Even
God,
though they're not there.
Yes,
they're judging.
The amount of times that I've accidentally just left the sponge on the counter, and I can just hear my dad being like, hang it up, and I'm like, okay, bring it out. Like,
right?
I'm like, he's not here, But like to that point, like I see how that like need to be organized and hella clean and everything is just as stressful as me just being able to just like sit in my own mess and be completely content and just being like, oh fuck, it's just all about balances. There is like a middle ground of being like my version of a clean mess. But
I just love Brian. Brian is such a good balance with like his mess. I'm like, someone do this for me.
See, that's why he's your dude.
That's why. He's
great.
Yeah.
He's good ass people because of that. But that's what I'm saying though, is that he embraces it. To him, it's not his mess. It's my girl and her like things. It's my girl and her piles. It's my girl and her floor. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that it's like messes, I think has such a negative connotation, but it's just like, it's yours. It's your existence. It's your environment.
Right. Yeah. Aw. Rose.
Why? Am I going to make you cry again?
I always cry.
I know. I'm good.
We should read an email.
Okay, let's read. Oh, yeah.
So you haven't been on here for a while.
Oh, God, I know.
And and I would hate to like give them content that doesn't have to do with dating.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
I think that mental health content, I mean, I wanted to talk about this. I think that, I mean, when we did every time we do mental health, anything, people always relate. And I always feel good doing those type of episodes. And they're obviously vocal therapy. It's fucking needed.
It's the therapy part. But in session, like I said. Okay,
I get so many emails. And I just want to make sure like I'm on top of it.
Do it!
So I feel like let's read some stories.
Stories.
Yeah, I know you haven't been on when we like do emails or call people.
I know. And I always get so jealous because I watch the episodes where you do the emails and stuff like that. And like I see like the boys episode. Oh my God. They were doing so many sports metaphors and you were just like, I don't get it. And I was like, that's my bitch. But like, I got so jealous because I was like, this is how I would have answered it. But there was good answers. The boys are, I mean, those gentlemen.
People have like said like, can you have Rose in like,
okay. Do we have any of those?
I can't find them, but I'm sure eventually, but I mean, we have some good ones. I feel like I've been wanting to read.
Okay, let's do this.
So, and this one says 20 plus years of friendship gone. And I feel like we always talk about friendship. So let's. Fuck.
If this is about friend breaking up, I'm so sorry.
Do you want to read it?
Oh, God, no. That thing's long. I can't read that. That's beautiful. Someone wrote a beautiful dissertation. Oh, fuck.
She put like indents and paragraphs.
Oh, my. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a beautiful email.
Okay.
Kudos. Okay.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say I like to remain anonymous. Of course. Second, I like to emphasize how much I love your podcast, how much I appreciate your bravery in being unapologetically yourself. It takes a lot, and it's very much appreciated that to have you and guests be. I'm not. See, this is why
we can't read it. Should I read it then?
Yes, that's why I told you.
Okay, sorry. Well, because it's like also like you're like fucking reading it cold. I'm like, I'm not an actress. Okay, it takes a lot, and it's very much appreciated to have you and a guest be a constant reminder that there is no manual in life. There isn't. That we can just doing our best, and I'm not alone, and I don't always have to have it together. Literally this episode. Okay. Let's get into it. I had a best friend since second grade. Oh, fuck. This is best friends breaking up, and you know this shit's hard for me. Oh, God. I did everything with her.
That's why we did it with you.
God,
it felt like you could relate.
Oh, man.
And you could give good advice.
Let's do this. Okay. And although middle school and most of high school, we were neighbors, there was a lot of singing in the mirror, helping convince parents to let us go out, and mostly me sulking at their house at their very toxic home, and I was trying hard to escape my home. I get that. She was brought up extremely Catholic. Ooh, I'm so sorry.
Same.
And for most of my life, my mother compared me to her.
Oh,
she
my
wanted
mom
me
would
to be like her. Let's call her Mary. Okay, Mary, because it's biblical and all. That's funny. Okay. Mary was very much a straight A, virgin until marriage, an avid churchgoer. So sorry.
My mom would want me to be her as well, too. I get that.
My mom wouldn't, but that's fine. My mom would be like,
that's why I love your mom.
My mom's like, no Mary's in my house. She says, I was not. I had a single mother who was always in the search of love, so premarital sex was not a taboo. And because my mom wanted me to be more like Mary, I started to adopt her way of living. Ooh, okay. I did it all. I started to try and go to church as I got older and even spoke more about the Bible. And it wasn't really hardcore sprinkles of religion here and there. I would make a constant conscious choice, but keep in mind that through all these many years of friendship, I was totally in and out of relationships. I had sex, I rebelled at home, but I was trying to be religious. Understandable.
I've been there.
Although she was my best friend, there were topics that were off limits or came with a bucket full of advice or an earful of scolding. So you had a judgmental Mary. I couldn't talk to her about sex. Cursing needed to be limited. Fuck that shit.
Dude, I would never.
And topics like pro-choice were so back and forth. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Okay. If you're no longer friends with her, that's okay. Anyway, sorry.
I mean, you should not be friends with her.
Sorry. Okay, let's.
I know there's probably people listening maybe who have that kind
Anonymous Annie, I'm so sorry. That's what we're going to call you right now. If I did talk about these topics, I was excluded from their friend group, and I wasn't a slut, but instead careless, and I wasn't practicing self-worth, and I needed to be better. I was only trying to be my best self and needed to practice discipline. Might I add that the slut shaming was also a thing with... Oh my God. Oh, with us, she puts herself in that. So you can imagine how I felt when they talked badly about girls with multiple partners and me at the table. But I wasn't the exception, right? There you go. When I was dating a certain man in my 20s, I realized I didn't want to perceive us into the slut shaming anymore. So I told her that it made me feel really bad. That me talking shit about other people and the way that they chose to do with their lives wasn't going to change our choices, and it didn't affect me. Instead of the words I used to reflect myself poorly
say where you
are. I didn't need to be disrespectful, and I found that it was only anger because I couldn't accept my side and myself and the things I saw in them. I get that. To that, she said something along the lines of, you shouldn't let your man change you. If you want to call them sluts, you should, because that's what they are.
Wait, what? Wait. Can you reread that again? I don't understand what that just happened.
She basically was like, she was dating this dude in her 20s, and she opened up to the guy about the 20s about how her friends would slut shame people. And she then went to her friends and said, I don't want to slut shame girls anymore because it makes me feel bad because she's apparently having sex with this guy and everything. Right. And she didn't like her friend's choice words and how she felt like it was reflecting of her, right?
Yeah.
So she said that to Mary. Mary's response was, you shouldn't let your man change you. If you call them sluts, that's okay. If you want to call them sluts, you should, because that's exactly what they are.
Dude, fuck Mary.
Fuck Mary.
Fuck Mary.
Mary. But I wasn't letting him change me. It was just an open discussion that came to conclusion.
This is who you are. You already believed this before.
I know.
Oh my
During
God.
COVID, I started therapy. Congratulations.
Yay.
I realized that I was a people pleaser. That's okay. And I couldn't keep up with the expectations that she and her family had of me. With that came dropping religion altogether. That is tough. So sorry you had to do that. Might I add, I lived with her during this time. Oh my God. But she didn't know, but she didn't like that I went out during COVID. Well, okay. Well, that's fine. I won't judge you. That's fine. Do what you want to do. Which is understandable. Her parents lived there and she was scared of them. Okay. Scared for them too. That's fine. I was selfish in going out regardless.
Okay. Accountability.
Big but. Her family traveled to Arizona and Mexico multiple times and had a full-on Halloween party pre-vaccine that they didn't like that I did because I wasn't like them when it came to being in that big a group of people. Okay. Shit really hit the fan once I said I was no more religious. I vented to Mary's mom, big mistake, and said I felt her daughters were being very judgy and religious people by judging the guy that I was with because he has a son from a previous girl. Her sister then confronted me via text. I admitted to her about my feelings and told her that I was not going to be religious anymore, and so she blamed it on my therapist and the guy that I was talking to, and for days after, Mary said nothing and then was silent, and then acted started very weird. And then her sister had to go be by herself somewhere else and had a few things to say about me and saying that I was playing the victim and not taking accountable for my shit. Again, I was in therapy and was trying to learn to cope with sexual assault, childhood trauma, and finding my own self-worth. I kept all my texts short to continue on with her long rant and replied mostly as, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm just trying to be what's right for me, or something along that lines. I understood their anger because I went out and it felt unsafe, but I feel like their hypocrisy they're religious. Religious people are full of hypocrisies. Anyways, I felt like they were being supportive of their religious backgrounds, even though I showed lack of commitment or interest sometimes. I genuinely was happy they loved it. I just wish they could have accepted me.
Right.
Since then, we haven't talked. It's been about a full year. I haven't closure the idea that I'm advocating for myself and that they told me to leave, so I did. And that is what I'm defining in the options that I have chosen my own self-worth and putting myself first.
Yeah.
what would you have done in my situation? Exactly what the fuck you just did. What do you see that I don't? And how can I make new friends? I'm currently lacking in that department. P.S. To give an idea to how much this friendship has endured, it's been through multiple breakups, divorce, family drama, long-distance friendships, and lots of relaxing trips. We were great for the most part, and I felt accepted, but that did feel like a dosage of living together made me realize that they can't accept all of me. I love that you take accountability. Obviously, though, this feels like something that you currently are still working out through therapy. And it's really rough because it feels like you're entangled into their family, which is hard. But genuinely, I think you did what was best for everyone, that you left the situation and you stopped being friends with them. Because if you had continued it, I feel like that would be unfair to everyone involved, basically.
Oh, for sure. And I think that, you stuck with your values. You stuck with what you believe. And also, who cares if, you got influence and you changed your mind? That's growth. You know what I mean? And, I think as far as religion, I don't want to shade religion on here, even though I don't really consider myself religious. I grew up Catholic. I don't go to church anymore.
Same.
I have a mother who forces me to go to church and judges me every single day that I'm not a part of a church. And I have friends who are religious and they don't judge me. You know what I mean? So I think it's just I get the whole feeling of just not having that religion that you grew up on. There is a sense of guilt that happens where it's
Catholic guilt.
Am I going to hell now because
Yes.
I don't go to I used to really think that so many bad things were going to happen to me because I don't believe in the church anymore.
Right.
It was a transition. And honestly, eventually became an easy transition because I realized I don't have to go to church. I don't like going to church.
You're like, it's a relief.
It's a relief, yeah. But, with that being said, with friendships, people, 20 years of friendship, people grow up. You're not the same fucking person.
No, you change.
And, you could still have, it's unfortunate they're not talking anymore. If it was me, I would, I would try to have a balance of not talking about religion. But at the same time, she's the problem because I feel like this anonymous Annie is willing to be willing to compromise
and admit when she was wrong.
But Mary is fucking judgmental.
Yeah.
It can never work as friends if because you could be friends with someone who thinks differently than what you believe in,
sure.
but you have to respect each other and not bring it up.
I mean, that you literally stole the words out of my mouth. It's the whole idea that I grew up Catholic, not Catholic anymore, don't go to church anymore. And one of the main reasons is because I felt like religion was super judgy. And I was just but then there are people who are religious that are down for the things that I'm down for, you know what I mean? But their God seems really fucking awesome. I just don't like this God over here that says gays are going to hell or trans people don't exist. So it's there is a stigma behind it, but when people weaponize religion, that's when it gets really bad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my own roommate is religious, goes to church every Sunday. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she doesn't judge me and say you're a fucking awful person because you don't go to my church or you don't go to church in general. That's when it becomes a problem. Have your religion, believe what you want to believe in, but don't bring me or bring anonymous Annie into your judgmental fucking
It's gonna suck because it's 20 years of friendship, but I do think it's smart for you just to step away for some time and then maybe you guys can come back. But right now I think the separation is probably the best.
I think this is I've talked about it on the show before, a few episodes ago, where this has happened so much during COVID because people have obviously different values and morals and ways of going about COVID is one thing.
Yep.
But then also you got fucking Black Lives Matter happening and just all these the
election, climate change, all this shit, all this divisive stuff that just is dividing people.
Was so heightened up. Yeah. So it's really caused a divide.
Oh, we boiled over. Now we're just dealing with the aftermath of it.
Yes.
Which is we as humanity lost empathy.
Right.
We had it. Remember when we used to always cheer for the fucking hard workers, the frontliners of COVID? Every 8 p.m. we cheered for them and all that stuff. And that was sick and that was amazing. And now we don't give a fuck. Right. Now there's wait staff that are getting yelled at because people have to wait 45 minutes for a table. We've completely lost all the empathy and just patience that we're supposed to gain from traumatic. You know what I mean? Like after 9/11, there was just like this beautiful kind of camaraderie of like people trying to understand what was happening. Then you got the people that were hating people just because of their religious beliefs and everything.
Right,
But like there was a moment where it was just kind of like, fuck, we as humans just witnessed something awful. And the pandemic had this feeling where we were all in this together, you know, but alone. And then fuckers had to fuck it up.
The fuckers had to fuck it up.
Fuckers had to fuck it up. But
yeah,
I mean, you're obviously not alone. You did what you needed to do, and in a few years, maybe you can come back to that person. But right now, you don't have to.
Yeah, and to make new friends, just I don't know.
Oh my god, I made a friend in the mall. Alyssa went up to this girl and was like, I like your pants. And then she was like, I like you guys. And we exchanged her number. Hey, Emma.
That's how me and Vincent became friends. It's like he complimented my shoes because he was working at Forever 21 10 years ago.
Oh my God. Look at that. Now you're friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I also am really a big believer of like, I've met some people via TikTok because I've like commented on people's videos and we just like go back and forth. And she's like, I live in LA. And I'm like, I live in LA. And like you make friends.
Right.
There's new ways to make friends. And I think
Bumble BFF, not sponsored, but that's a great way to make friends.
Oh my God.
Too.
I know a lot of people have that very successful stories from there.
I've thought about going on there, just making friends and finding potential people for the pod.
Like, why not? I also think it's a great way just to like meet men and dating people in the wild. But like, I think that also there's a lot of people that are like, how do you make friends? And I think there's a beautiful thing that like a lot of people do want to make friends and just like want to talk and just like staying on top of that.
Yeah, especially as we get older too, it gets harder. So if you're on that app, it's like we're clearly trying because we're
trying to be friends.
Yeah, we
I
just
love
need
that.
More friends.
Is there another email?
We have plenty. And let's find a short one.
Oh, no offense, Anonymous Annie.
No offense.
I mean, I loved your story.
No, it was great. It was kind of perfect for what we like talked about.
I know. There is no roadmap.
There is not.
I mean, that's like the biggest thing I feel like I could take away from any experience is that like no one knows what the fuck they're doing. And you never actually have to know what the fuck you're doing.
Okay, this one seems short.
Okay.
Subject is sleeping with an ex.
Ooh. Okay.
Sorry.
Fucking children.
I know. Hey girl, first are you okay? Did you just spill all over yourself?
It's just spit because you laughed. It was the face. What was that? Whatever, it's water. I don't care. I have a drinking problem.
Right.
Just kidding. It's just sparkling water. Continue sleeping with an ex.
Okay. Hey girl, first off, love the pod. It's made me realize everyone goes through similar shit. Now into my predicament.
Okay.
So, I was in a relationship with this guy for 2 years, and girl, he fucked me up. Like, to the point where I had to go to therapy and was prescribed antidepressants. Damn, I'm picking things that are really so on brand to this episode.
Yeah,
we didn't plan that.
Let's go.
We have been separated for 3 years now, and we still do hook up every now and then. It's a problem because even though he hurt me so bad, I still care for this man. And to be real, the sex is A1. The dick is not worth it.
The dick is not worth it.
The dick is not worth it. When we hang out, all those feelings come back, of course. We flirt and we talk like we are still together. When we see each other, but the second time, we flirt and talk like we are still together. And when we see each other, but the second he leaves, it goes back to no contact until someone gets horny. So my question is, why does he keep me around? I feel like if I am good enough to see at least 3 times a month for the last 3 years, why can't we give it another try? Should I just help myself and cut it off? I'm scared to bring it up, the idea of trying again, because I hate rejection. Help a bitch out.
Okay. Girl, you know why he keeps coming back, because you got that great pussy. Let's just get it. The dick is good, but your vagina is better. Okay? So you need to treat that vagina like the pussy palace that it is and let that man. Sorry, this is a little ADD moment, but I read a tweet that was like, someone was like, my body is like a TikTok video that I saw. And someone was like, my body is like a temple. And the person was like, ew, gross. No, my body is like a nightclub in the sense that there is a long line, there's a VIP list, and I get to kick people out whenever the fuck I want. And it's like, yeah, you need to treat your vagina like a VIP list. I think, obviously, you're loving that feeling that he creates, but that feeling exist. Okay, Junie, again, this isn't
Sorry, my
about
cat.
you.
My cat just brings on a toy and a table.
No, go get it. No, you need to cut it off.
Yeah.
The only way to you need to cut it off because...
Or keep going until you get heartbroken and learn your fucking lesson.
But she did already, though. She got therapy and antidepressants. Does he pay
shit.
for it? You should send him the bill. That's how you can get him
actually,
to know.
no, cut it off.
Girl,
Because you're already paying for fucking therapy from this
unless
dick.
he's Venmoing. I used to do that when I was single.
Like, he's...
I used to Venmo request
Really?
men. When men would be like, yo, I want to come over, I would Venmo request them for like my leg waxing. And like some guys would pay for it because I'd be like, if you want it, I got to get my legs waxed, but I'm not going to pay for it. So invest. There was one dude that like did it. He was down. But anyways, and then I would just go home and shave my legs and then pocket the money. But like, never mind. That's not what this story is about. Oh my God. Oh, when I was single, that was just such a fun time.
We need to just like have an episode
where I just talk about all my hoe stories.
Yes.
Jesus, I have too many. Anyways.
It'll be a series.
But no,
Rose's
you need
hoe
to
stories.
Rose the hoe that knows. So I'm really good at branding, but no, you need to cut it off because you don't have the control, and he seems to have a lot of the control.
Oh,
He
for
seems to have a
sure.
lot of the say, and I think once you kind of just move that balance back to you and back to like how you get to say no and you get to control, it's going to be a lot easier. And also, you just said these feelings exist when you're with him. Stop seeing him in person. Like, that's like the real big thing.
Right.
My boss just told the story about how he was like, yeah, I broke up with a girl, but I didn't like really want to break up with her. So I broke up with her in person because he knew that they were going to have breakup sex. And it was like one of those breakups you could have easily just done over the phone. And that's like
Right.
what this is, where it's like, you don't need him because what you need is yourself right now, and you seem like a dope ass human that's like very aware of like the situation, but like, girl, you're better than that. You can do it.
Right.
I believe in you.
I believe in you too.
And the dick ain't worth it.
It really is not worth it. Is it really worth therapy and antidepressants and to be medicated because of the dick?
And also this
Your health.
Your health.
Think about it.
Bitch,
It's fucking up your health.
It's fucking up your health. The dick can't be that good if it's fucking with your head. You know what I mean?
Like, there's so much dick out there. I know there's like there's so many fish in the sea.
But there's
there's so many
dick out there. There's a lot out
There's
there.
a lot of dick
It's just
out
like
there.
just going dick swinging. just
Right.
going out my
And I
face.
get it. You have a connection. You had a history. You know what you like. But
also that needs to be history. That needs to be done.
That needs
needs
to
to
be
be done.
and honestly, I used to like guys in the past be like, damn, it was so good. Like, I don't think I'll ever get over it. I'm over it. You get over it.
You really
Every
do. 'Cause of
bomb-ass
time
dick
and
I've got-
time, distance, and
You
like
get
literally
over it.
being like. And I think what will help you is if you do like. Sure, I get it. Like cutting off communication immediately is going to be hard, but like stop physically seeing him. That's like the first step to like really kind of get it
Yeah.
out of you, because love is a drug and addiction. You know, it is. You're enjoying the sex because you're getting endorphins out of it. But if
For
he's
sure.
coming in you and then dipping, like.
He doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah.
That's the
and
thing.
that's not a bad thing. You're not like saying it as a negative thing. It's just kind of like he just doesn't want to be with you and you deserve better. So
Yes.
don't be with him.
And I just had this conversation with my friend Six on FaceTime. Like, if man wants to be with you, he'll fucking be with you.
Oh, he will fucking be with you.
Like, there's no fucking excuse.
No.
He will be with you.
Yep.
Clearly, he just, like, you are worthy enough, obviously.
Yeah.
But
And a part of you knows
he's not
that.
worthy of you. Like,
Yeah.
he's not.
And a part of you knows that you're worthy because you sent you know what I mean? Like I feel like you just needed that push and that validation that you're making the right choice. And that's what
Right.
we're giving you is that like, nah, girl, you worth it. He
He ain't shit.
Let's get you a new dick.
Yeah. That's, no. Let's
No.
move on.
You got this. I believe in you.
I believe in you. Have you ever been stigmatized?
Yeah, his name was Anthony, and then I started dating. I mean, yeah, I was.
Before
I mean,
Anthony. Before Anthony.
I guess, yeah. I guess like my shitty abusive ex. Like, no, because his dick game wasn't that good, actually.
You said it was not great.
It was not good. It was not good. He was good at giving head. That was it. Because he was bad
just
at
great
dick.
at gaslighting.
He was great gaslighting. Yeah. He was emotionally
Abusive.
like abusive, and so he was emotionally like, it's gonna be different, girl. And so I believed that shit. But I've never been dickmatized. I've definitely been borderline where I'm like, what? And I'm like, that is not worth it. You know what I mean?
Stigmatized all the time.
I know you are. It's okay. It's because I'm a Scorpio and I don't really have any feelings.
But that's what I say about Aquarius.
No, that's what Aquarius is saying about Aquarius. No one else is saying that except Aquarius is to the fucking mirror. The person in the mirror, they're like, you're not going to get stigmatized, bitch. Yes, you is.
I think what it is with Aquarius is like we're just, obviously we're human. We have emotions. We're just like not good at like, you know,
you're just
letting it out.
Yourself. I think Aquariuses only give Aquariuses advice. It's like that's the problem with your sign is you guys are like, yeah, no, definitely like, nope, because you're not listening to anyone else being like, no, you've been stigmatized and it's okay.
I mean, I know it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, like it happens to the best of us. Just because I have no emotions towards that type of shit.
I mean, like dating a Cancer. One time we got into a fight. Oh my god, my cat.
Yes, Junie.
Anyways, so we got into a fight. Going back to being messy, we came back from Fresno. I had a bunch of clothes on my like bed. It's middle of the night. I'm drunk. I'm tired. We just drove 3 hours, and I like was like moved all my clothes from my bed to the floor because I just wanted to lay in my bed. And he was like, "You're really gonna do that?" It's like, those are clean clothes. And I was like, you're so mean to me. And so
that was your response?
Yes.
Was you're so mean to me because he said, hey, don't put dirty clothes. And you were like, you're not my mom.
I'm like, you're so mean to me. And he was just like, he got so upset and he like just didn't even say anything and just like walked out to the living room and just sat on the couch and like didn't go to bed. And I was like, why aren't you go to bed? He's like, I did so much for you this weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he's like, I wanted to spend time. And he was just like, start getting so emotional about everything. He's like,
two emotional hoes saying that they're the better one. Both of you guys acting like you're gardeners, but really you're both flowers demanding to be watered.
He's like, why would you tell me that I'm mean to you? I've done so much for you. I feel like you're taking me for granted. I was like, calm down.
You're like, chill the fuck out.
I just felt judged.
Oh
like,
my
that's
God.
it. I know. And he was like, I really just wanted to spend time with you. Like, I really wanted. I was like, we did. We spent so much time together.
We spent the entire weekend together.
Right. And he was like, no, I wanted to. He's going to get so mad at me for me calling him out because I think it's so funny. He was like, no, I wanted to just like, you know, lay together and look at each other and look at each other's eyes.
Oh my God, my entire body just stopped.
And I was like, I didn't know you wanted that. Like, we spent every day together. Like,
yeah, why didn't you do it? Or maybe he did it and you just were asleep and he just stared at you. Oh my God, he probably did that.
He said that when he brought it up, I just like laughed at him, which I feel like that's kind of cheesy. Right? Right?
Some girl probably thinks that's romantic. Wait, who do I know who this is?
This is Brian I'm talking about. This is my boyfriend. This was just a few weekends ago.
Why are you throwing Brian under the... Was that the 7 or the 44? Was that the 7 or the 44?
What do you mean?
That bus you just fucking threw Brian under just now. Boo-doom-doom. Leave poor Brian alone. Personally, Brian, I got shudders because I would hate it if someone stared in my eyes for fucking too long. But
just
like...
wanted to like have no distractions. Just me and him talk, look face to face and just talk.
And you couldn't do that for him?
I didn't know he fucking wanted that.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
you know what's so weird?
So we got from like me moving the clothes on the floor to just being like, you're mean. And then now he's escalated this to like, you don't want to look at me in the eyes.
But also I love, like, why was your response, you're mean to me? He wasn't.
I know. I just felt judged.
So you should have said that.
I know. But mind you, I was drunk and I was so fucking tired.
Okay.
I was like, I just wanted to sleep.
And he just wanted to stare at you. Like that. You
guys
easily
so pissed.
Here's the thing is you guys could have easily, this is gonna get cut out, you guys could have easily just easily done that. You could have easily just been like fixed and just stared at each other.
I didn't know that he wanted that.
You know what's so funny is I was making fun of this man in my head before I knew it was Brian, and now that I know it's Brian, it's like I'm defending him now. I'm like a flip-flopper. I'm a fucking bandwagoner. I'm like, don't you dare say that about my friend. Brian, I know. I promised him that will one day
hang out and we'll just look at each other's eyes and just.
I don't think that's also just what he wanted to do. I think it was just like he just wanted a moment of like hey.
Yeah,
babe.
I think I'm just being a dick. I think
obviously because you were like, when do you hate me? And then you fall onto the dirty clothes on the floor and you just roll in it and you're like, no,
like you're so mean to me.
Just a big tear down.
He's like, you're so spoiled.
I love that you guys are.
Spoiled.
I was about to say, but I love that you guys are both very like emotional beings.
We're so emotional.
And
I think
then
he's
just
more
blame
emotional
the
than
other-
me. Actually, no, because after that I fucking cried. I started bawling.
I was about to say, you just answered your own question.
And he was like, don't, because I was like, I'm not good enough. It's all right. So I'm the more emotional one. Because we kept like, just like beating each other on emotional levels.
I think you guys have met each other's match. I don't know if one is more emotional than the other. I just think you guys have like cinder to cinder. You guys have met each other. Like you're like, it's like.
Yeah.
One of you have to just explode. You know what I mean? Like you're just so like that's you just go two emotional people go in the room. Right. No one comes out.
And I just started crying because I was like, I'm not a good girlfriend, huh? You're not. I just suck. And he was like, I'm not leaving you. Like, calm down. Like,
oh my god.
I know. I was drunk.
Were you on Adderall? I'm
no,
sorry. That's not funny.
I wasn't prescribed yet.
Judy!
All right, we should close this out. We're always over an hour. I just love chatting with you.
I know,
like,
I'm not done. And you guys, shout out. Sorry I've been gone for so long. We've been trying to do this episode for a while because I just keep ow. That's how you. I was embodying you when Brian fight. Junie just clawed the shit out of my thigh.
I don't know why she's fucking crazy.
I mean,
right
she
now.
was needing me. She was like literally physically and like with the K and with an N, just was like me, I need you, and then like kneading her little, making her little kitty pies.
Crazy.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, but no, I've been distracted by like my job and work and life and just like stupid shit and like not
come
getting.
Back soon.
I want to come back. Let's do this again.
Me, you, and Jess should just like call people or answer emails.
Oh fuck yeah, let's do that.
I feel like that would be chaotic.
Girl talk. Let's do it.
Can we play that girl game?
I was just we play that with the boys and the moms.
Yes. Oh my god.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Say no more, fam.
We have to do it with Rachel again too. The girls' room.
We should probably could we do all four of us? That's a lot. I think we could. We could do it.
We could do it.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone recognizes everyone's voice at this moment.
Well, yeah, because Jess she got an accent. So like that really.
You didn't know which accent to say because you're like Jess. He's almost like British, but you're like.
I was gonna say it. I was gonna be like she got an accent, but that's not
like,
her accent.
But it's like mixed.
It's mixed though. It's so interesting because there's times where
she
I'm
could
like
sound LA and then she could sound British.
Yeah.
But her parents have British accents.
Well, you know me. I was like, I had one until I was at least like 4 or 5, and then I was like, nah, I sound like a drunk.
I had an accent too. I definitely had a Filipino accent growing up. Daughter of an immigrant.
Daughter of an immigrant. Not sponsored by us,
but we are daughters of immigrants.
We are.
Well, anyway, I don't even want it to end, but we have to let it end. Mm-hmm. It's got to end somewhere.
Oh, yeah, because whoever's listening to this is probably done with their dishes or laundry or whatever the fuck you're doing. So you're probably just sitting on your bed being like, are they done yet?
Yeah.
Plug yourself, Rose. You can find me at Rose_Etta Stone. I'm on Instagram, sometimes Twitter. I don't really do much on TikTok, but I'm there. And then watch BMF through the Stars app. Woo. They do pay me. They don't sponsor this podcast, but they do pay my ass. But BMF season 2 coming out next year. Boom.
And then follow me, Stefanie Maegan, or go to brocotherapy.com. All that shit is there. And you guys, I have a contact sheet right here. If you're watching on YouTube, I have it next to my screen. It's on brocotherapy.com. You can fill out a form, put in your phone number if you'd like, or just send us an email of your stories and we could talk about it. Yeah, that's it. All right, bye.
Bye.
Broke Girl Therapy. Broke Girl Therapy. Broke Girl Therapy.